So let's take the hitman and the preacher, right? Because these are supposed to be totally opposites, right? Like, how can you get any more opposite than a preacher and a hitman? So then, like, my juices get to going. Like, I get a little curious about it, right? And I'm just like, hold on. What is the relationship between these two people? And surely, if he is not both the hitman and the preacher, then him being a preacher, we know he's a preacher. What we didn't know was the hitman piece. Because all while growing up, he told me that the hit or the hitman, which wasn't even clear, was family. Specifically, Bishop Haddon, which we all know to be Dietrich Haddon's father. So these are two seemingly totally different individuals, right? We have the hitman and the preacher. So it almost is, there is a suggestion in the title that either he is both the hitman and the preacher, and that possibly this is an attempt to seek redemption, maybe from his past life of being a hitman. And that maybe there's this internal conflict within him between his morality, his faith, his identity, and maybe his true character. Then on another side of things, you got to think, okay, the hitman and the preacher, does the story somehow indicate that they have crossed paths? That maybe they have somehow influenced each other's lives in some unexpected ways? That maybe somehow this dynamic between the hitman and the preacher is ultimately about redemption, forgiveness, and this impact of this contrast of these different characters. And so now then, okay, because I'm a designer, y'all. So I take this, like I told you, I'm taking it down to the lowest common denominator, right? Because then now you say, okay, let's dive a little bit deeper into the hitman. We don't know who the hitman is right now, right? Growing up, I believe the hitman to be family, or somehow family was connected to or behind the hitman, right? So possibly family employed the hitman. But the fact that this story is more focused on the hitman as opposed to who is behind the hitman leads me to believe that there is no actual attempt at redemption, at vindication, at justice, at reconciliation, at the truth coming out just for the sake of exposing truth. So then we think about the hitman more, right? And I told you, the hitman is not someone who is attached to the person that they have the hit on. By all accounts, you've never seen anywhere in any movie where the hitman knew the person, originally, and that was the reason for the hit. No, because the hitman has absolutely no attachment to the person, which is what supposedly enables them to commit such a heinous act against a person and feel nothing, because they have no attachment. But the person who is behind the hitman is the one who has the motives, has the attachment, has the reason. They're the one. So why is he focused on the hitman when the hitman supposedly, if this is a different individual, has absolutely no attachment and no reason, no motive other than money to go after my father? So how is this a story of redemption, of these two individuals being at odds for decades? Because this storyline went on for decades of my life. So you have to say that, how did the hitman and the preacher somehow cross paths? Why is the hitman the focus instead of the employer of the hitman? So why is he not revealing, and why is this story not focused on what's behind the hitman? Who is behind the hitman? The reasons behind the hit. That's what's right now unclear to us. So as we analyze, that's part of what we need to be looking for. Why is there a hit? Why is the hitman the focus? Who's behind the hitman? Who hired the hitman? Why did they hire the hitman? And then I would even go further to say, because both of these people are still alive, the man who my father said was behind the hitman and my father. So is this still an issue? Is there still a hit on my father? Because now, since he wrote a book and he's talking about the hitman and the preacher, is this an expose to who is truly behind the hit? Here's what I think. I think that the spotlight being on the hitman is a diversion. I think the whole point is to make you lose focus. Like magic. He's pulling a magic trick on you, right? Smoke and mirrors. Look over here and don't look at what I was doing in this other hand, the trick I was pulling in this other hand. That's what this is giving for me right now. So we're supposed to be captivated by the hitman, right? And somehow the preacher still being alive, still being, all of his kids are alive, his wife is alive. So nobody got killed in this whole story, right? By all accounts, nobody got killed. So is this story an effort to appear that my father is some type of hero that against all odds, against a hitman following him all over the world, somehow he was able to preach the gospel, save souls, raise 5 kids, be a husband to 1 wife, and take his kids to Germany twice and bring them back twice and do all the things? Is this an effort for him to appear to be a hero, even though he was a villain? Even though this target was on him? Even though he doesn't tell us why the target was on him, who's behind the target, if he was really the intended target, was he even the intended target if the target isn't even directly on him?